Good morning, guys. I am trucking down US 421 south toward Wilmington, coming out of the big town of, well, it really comes from nowhere because the towns are so small no one would recognize them. Perhaps you've been to Curry or Atkinson or Harrell's. It goes all the way up to Clinton and all the way up to the mountains, actually. So it's a long road. But I'm heading into town. The title of our blog is The Land of Imperfection today. Give it a few seconds, see if anyone wants to watch. I see we have one viewer. A hot damn, that's awesome. One viewer. Bring 9 of your friends. Oh, no, he left. I offended him. No, he's back. Alright. He went to go get a drink and came back. Give it about 30 more seconds. Thank you for joining us today. This broadcast is brought to you by the Z Manifold. The Z Manifold, it's pretty close. Z Manifold is best used with K-type thermocouples. Going to the wrong side of the tracks there. Here we are. Good morning, everybody. Entitled this vlog, The Land of Imperfection. Land of Imperfection. Can't even say the word right. It really is imperfection. The reason why I titled it that way is because I'm going to do apartment maintenance today. And a lot of us, when we go to a single call where we're working on one machine and we can focus on that one machine, we give it a lot of attention, we dial it in to the nth degree. You're going in there, you're charging, you're making sure the airflow's good, you're making sure the superheat's right, subcooling's right, make sure your temperatures look good, your amp draws look good. When I do these apartment maintenances, I can't do all that because there's not enough time. I originally gave them a proposal to do a more in-depth preventive maintenance, but the problem with that is that when you do an in-depth preventive maintenance on apartments, it takes forever. Now, if I were to spend, well, I don't know, let's say I spent 45 minutes on each unit checking the indoor and outdoor unit, and that's, they're separated. Some of them are on a roof and some of them are on a different floor. If I spent a lot of time with each one, 45 minutes times, 50 units. Now that's up there just about 38 hours or so. That's a lot of time. I think that's probably too much time to spend on that. And how much money would that cost? Way more than they're going to pay. I gave an estimate to do that sort of service, but the cost of it was, you go in there to service these units and it was over $3,000 to service all of them because it took so much time to do it. So what I did was I came up with a streamlined service where we checked the most likely components based on that equipment. I would clean the evaporator coil. I would blow out the drain because these things are just infamous for having drain blockages and water on the floor. These are front return wall mount apartment air handlers, and the water on the floor is one of the most common things. Of course, they have water heaters underneath them. There's little low boy water heaters, and a lot of times they'll leak as well because they're old. So I always tell them, what temperature is the water? That's what I ask them the first thing when they say water's on the floor. Is it hot water or cold water? So sometimes it's hot, a lot of times it's cold because the AC does back up quite a bit. So most of the time it's the AC. And I go in there and there's 2 drains, and one of the drains is just a float switch with a long tube on it that catches residual water if the drain backs up. Unfortunately, it doesn't always catch the water, and sometimes it overflows. Sometimes the coils freeze because of whatever issues. There's been dirty filters that cause coils to freeze. There's been low charges that cause coils to freeze, so water gets on the floor. And sometimes it's indicative of another problem, sometimes it's just a drain. So I try to blow out the drains if possible. Some of the drains on those first company air handlers are a real pain to get to. Some of them are easy, and I can't remember which one it is because there's and I don't remember the model numbers, but it's like a 19, 25, and a 30 or 31 that they have out there. I can't remember which one is the paint in the butt, but one of them is a paint. Something tells me it's a 25. So, let me change lanes here. So I blow out the drains. I spray down the evaporator coil after wiping it off with the Steve Lab brush. I'll wipe it down. I made my little dustpan, which you probably might have saw on Instagram or Facebook. I was running late one day and I was going to stop at the dollar store and get a little dustpan, but then I just cut a square of metal and bent a dustpan out of it. And it's probably going to last the rest of my life, so probably a better financial investment. So I brush off the coil, then I spray the coil down, then I'll start up the AC to rinse the coil. And what I'll do is I'll either leave the fan on or the back feed whenever I jump it outside for the compressor and reversing valve, because these are train units. I want the reversing valve on and cooling. And sometimes they automatically turn on the blower depending on what thermostats you have on the wall. Most of the thermostats here, that will be the case, just from the way the signal back feeds. It'll turn on the blower automatically. So I can check them from outside, I can start them up. Now, some of the things, like I don't get a Target superheat. What I do, and it's as crude as it sounds when I'm in the apartment, I sort of take note of how I feel, and I do my superheat based on that, because I can't go getting Target superheats for all of them, and I don't think it's necessary. What I do is most Target superheats for these apartments, unless the unit is just off and it's hot inside, are going to range between 10 and 20 degrees Fahrenheit Target superheat. So that's what I do. I make sure that we're close. I don't want to overcharge it, but I know if I get it down into the 20-degree range, I'll be satisfied with that. I'm crossing the bridge and people are crossing behind me. You guys can talk amongst yourselves for a moment. I think I'm gonna get caught on the bridge going the wrong way because of the stupid truck in the way, but that's fine. Let's see if I can shoot the hole. Yeah, I don't do too much as far as Target superheat on those unless I'm working on one individual unit. No, truck was too slow. But, I mean, it's no big deal. It's a lot better off because I'll go in there and one of them will have like a 35 or 40 degree superheat. Now, obviously, that's undercharged. These are piston metering devices. So I'm not worried about them being, TXV issues. So I'll go in there and do that, and then I'll go outside. I'll do my charging. I'll charge it up to get like a 20-degree superheat if it's, having an issue as far as high superheat. And that's about as far as I go. Most of them are R22, and I feel the need to warn these people about R22, and I have before, but they don't seem to really care. I've told them on several occasions that, R22 is being phased out. But they seem to just kind of biding their time. Always like it's one of them things that are coming, but it's never going to actually get there. But I have a letter typed up. I have not faxed it over there yet, sort of reiterating that on the first go round with the preventive maintenances, I serviced around 30 units or so, 30, 35 units, whatever it is. And a good 30% of them were leaking refrigerant. On the second building, there's what's called the senior building, and then there's an outer building. On the outer building, the first one I'm doing 2 more today, a large one and a small one, but the first one was a large one with 12 units, and I think 6 of them were leaking refrigerant, ranging from half a pound to 2 pounds of refrigerant. And with R22, that adds up pretty quickly. We're all charging more for R22 now. I was charging $50 a pound. I'm charging these people $60 a pound, but I'm raising up the general public to $75 a pound. I cut a break to people who have over 5 properties. I'll give you a slight deal on it. But, it's going to continue to go up. It's one of those things where as R22 becomes more scarce and more desirable, it's going to continue to go up in price. And then we move on to the drop-in debate, which we're not going to address today because I think we've gone over. It's not that the debate is over with the drop-ins, it's just that it's worn out for now. So we're going to come back to it later. it's been so drug around these last few weeks that it's something that people don't want to hear about. But I'm sure in a few more months we'll revisit it. If it's not just 407C, just the other ones as well. What's a good alternative for R22? But some customers are going to absolutely need an alternative to it. Right now, I can buy R22 still in the 400s for the most part from United. So I'm going to check with them today and see how much it costs. I'm heading there now to get some of that Viper spray foam for the apartments. But that's what I'm doing today, guys. Apartment maintenance. Woo! Yeah! It's going to be 91 today, and the phones just start ringing. There's going to be people that, you know, I had one the other day. I put a reversing valve up online, and the reversing valve was not shifting any longer. It was staying in heat. The guy said it was cooling fine the other day. He switched it back and forth, and it came loose, I guess, was the idea. I tried to switch it, but it didn't switch. But I guess he had the magic touch, and he said it was cooling. The bad thing was the day that he said it was cooling, the high was 60-something. So we're going to test it today and see if I get a phone call from him to see if maybe it wasn't cooling as good as he thought. But we shall find out soon. Or maybe he's just going to try to fix it himself. Hey, never know. But I'll see you guys either later today or tomorrow. There will be a video up on the Pro channel tonight. That video is actually the first go-around of the apartment maintenance. This is one of the reasons why I did this vlog. So you'll see a little bit what I was talking about. The very first unit was broke. That's how it goes. I ran across one that had blown the high voltage fuses while I was doing the maintenance. So it's a good thing to do the maintenance because those people would have been out of air conditioning for sure. I guess they just hadn't noticed yet. But got the mega ohm meter out and figured that one out. So same old, same old. But stick around tonight and you'll see that at 8 p.m. And I'm going to try to shoot the target head pusher video for Thursday. I haven't shot it yet, so that's what I'm going to try to do. If I don't get it done, you'll see... I don't remember what the other one is offhand, but you'll see it. So I'm going to try to get that done for you guys, so that'll be available on Thursday. And enjoy the ride. I will see you guys on the next one.